Hello. Welcome back to the thing, the text document. So, last week, hold on. Last week, we did some data assets and it got really easy. And we did some stuff with being drunk. This week, how to make the drunk overflow effect dependent on food. We'll take a look into that. And how to board and not be bored, which is another thing that we'll take a look at. So let's start with our overflow effect dependent on food. So we've got our alcohol here. So when we have too much alcohol, so we've got 10 stacks of alcohol, we start getting stacks of drunk. Let's see, GE drunk. So we get stacks of drunk. Right now we've got set to a scalable float. So just six seconds of being drunk for every stack of drunk. But we want to see if we can do this based on food. So if we look in here, I'm not gonna, can I add another one? No, all right. So if we look on here, there's an attribute based. There's a one backing attribute. So let's set this to food. Attributes target. Snapshot. I guess snapshot at the time makes sense. Coefficient. So I believe this is going to be how much of this food. So like we know 100 is like full stomach, and lower than that is not full stomach. We got that. Don't want to touch that. Attribute curve. Curve table. Row name. We multiply out of post multiply. So we're gonna multiply by this much. How much? How much it is. Thing is, I want it to be an inverse, right? So it's based on food, but we don't want the actual food. We want the inverse of it. Base value, bonus main. Okay. So I'm just gonna do my favorite, which is search. Actually, first, let's go into here. This is attribute-based mag. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, that's out, obviously. Attribute. Not quite. What else do we? Gameplay effect for changing attributes. Here we go. Base value of a backing attribute on the source to create a gameplay spec or target who received the gameplay effect spec and further modify it with a conversion and pre-coefficient additions. Snapshotting means the backing attribute is captured when gameplay effect is created, and that whereas no snapshotting means the attribute is captured when the gameplay effect is applied. All right, and the coefficient. our problem is that it's under minus the thing. So I have a feeling I might have to do one of these modifier magnitude calculation. So where? Ooh. Okay. So we've had modifier magnitude calculation. Are for classes used as modifiers in gameplay effects. Functions simulate gameplay effect execution calculations, but are less powerful, and more importantly, they can be predicted. Their sole purpose is to turn a float value from calculate base magnitude implementation. You can subclass and overwrite this function in Blueprint and C++. MMCs can be used during gameplay effects MMC's strength lies in capability to capture the value of any attributes on the source target of the gameplay effect with full access to the gameplay effect spec and gameplay tags and set by callers. Attributes can either be snapshotted or not. Snapshotted attributes captured when the effect is created, not snapshotted captured when the gameplay effect is applied, and automatically update when the attribute changes for infinite in duration gameplay effects. Capturing attributes recalculates the current value from existing mods on the ASC. This recalculation will not run a pre-attribute change in the ability set, so any clamping must be done here. All right. Resultant float can further be modified by the gameplay effects modifier coefficient pre and post coefficient addition. In an example, MSC captures the target's mana attribute and reduces it from poison effects, where the amount reduced changes depending on how much mana the target has and a tag that the target might have. So calculate. So we've got a class, poison mana, blah, float, poison mana. There's our interface implementation. Does some maths. Okay, but this doesn't show me what the class looks like. I'm going to assume there's one inside the code here. So if we go in here, nope. Yes? No. Let's see. AI characters, player. Can it be characters? No. Abilities? No. No, not those guys. Maybe it's a minion. It applies. Where would this be? Where do you think this would be? Is it just in here and I don't get to see it? That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. Maybe I need to do a search. You think he's got this exact class in here? Let's take a look. No matches found. Oh no. My exact calculate. He's got abilities, characters, AI. Does the AI? No. Gameplay ability. Oh. All right. This is what I want. All right. I guess if you're at this point, you probably are like going to the docs, eh? All right. C++ classes. Dead by dinner. Let's pop it in here. New C++ class. We'll make it empty unless there is. Oh, actually, we can go in here, can't we? What class is this? A U gameplay mod magnitude calculation. U gameplay mod magnitude calculation. Oh yeah. Next. Was longer than 32 characters. Not on my watch. Play mod, dude. Okay. MMC. And then let's start with PMC. Let's actually do one for alcohol. So like the amount of alcohol you get also depends on how drunk you are. So let's start with alcohol, and then we'll see how much that moves. Because then both of them can depend on how much food you have, right? Actually, it's probably just the one, and we'll reuse it for both of them. It's been a while since we opened up this, eh? So long that it doesn't remember how to open it up. Come on. Come on. Oh, it has to do with new compile every time you make a new class, even though it's empty. Good job, everyone. While that's doing that, I'm going to do. Oops. Since I'm staring at it right now. Ooh. Taking a while. Okay, we got this. So we're well, that's doing that. So we'll have to compile complete. There we go. There it is. So what we'll want to do is we've got that. We already know we are going to have this because of the inheritance, and this is the constructor. These are where we can get attributes. Okie dokie smoky. And then we implement this. So here's the H, what we need next. And then we don't actually need anything in here. I don't think so. We just need to add stuff into here. Namely a constructor. So let's go ahead and do that. Find header somewhere. This is defined in header somewhere. F gameplay effect attribute capture definition. What? I guess I'm looking that up, eh? Let's see. Nope. Deal the top of this. So I remember where it goes. Oh, wrong. And then paste. Okay. Got a tag from the source and target that as. So we get the spec. So we get the source tags and target tags. Parameters. Okay. Float mana equals 0. Captured attribute. Mana def, which is find in header. Gameplay effect. Attribution capture definition. Looks like it's a structure. Does that even make sense to you? That he's got another file that has this. Oh, wait. There's right here. You see? In between those words, there's like a comma or a colon, a period or a colon. This is in the header of this class. That's the thing. I don't see. That's why I was like, why would you have a structure and then like have it in a different header? That doesn't make any sense. That's not it. There we go. So what that actually means, punctuation counts, folks. What that actually means, we have up here. And it's going to be this is the only one that's on, right? And then can I do this? Oh. And then right? So we're gonna have a food def, which is a definition of like getting the food, and we'll just say max food is this, because that's how much it's gonna be. So in here, we're gonna say, because it's a struct and we haven't like, it's just defined over there. we're going to say that actually, I'm just gonna double check what kind of programmer am I again? Oh, I don't have any. What kind of programmer am I again? Yeah, I'm a .NET programmer, so that should be capital. So if we go back to Tranix example, so so there's supposed to be a period or a colon there, so it's defined in the header of poison mana, this property which we are setting up in the constructor. So we're going to attribute the capture. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to just push enter here. That's not what I wanted to do. Thank you. Food def. Want attribute source. And then the snapshot. I think it would be interesting to have this. Thank you. Be false. Okay, so we're gonna get this out of the attribute set, right? So first of all, we probably need to include it. Guest attribute set. Okay. And then let's see. We want to offer the target, so we can just copy this directly. Will be up, right? It's not just that, right? Because we're in C++ land. It's a class that has stuff, and then we got let me just go see guest attribute set, and now be defined from here, I guess, right? As an assumption, but I should be able to get food attribute, right? Get food attribute. What do you think? Do you think it's actually there? Or is that a custom thing he wrote for this mana? Should I double check it? That's not the name of the thing, is it? Am I smart enough to be able to find it again with my own, like... Oh. There we go. Attribute base. Oh, I don't think that's in there, bruh. I don't think that's in there. Oh, hey, all right. We'll just do this the easy way. So mana, 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 regenerate. Rep. No, so must come from the U property and the attribute accessors macro. So when we do this, there should be a get food attribute that's generated by Unreal Engine. I should be able to do food attribute. Fat fingered the entire thing. Okay. Save. All right, so the implementation of getting the magnitude. Let's go look what he's got here. He gets gather tags from the source and target with that can affect buffs. Should be used. I don't have any tags. It's just a raw amount of food. Let's skip that for now. If we invent a buff that cares, I'll get to it. All right. App aggregator evaluate parameters. Source tag and target tags. The float. Mana def spec evaluation for the mana. Okay, so I do need to make this. I kind of have to make all of this, don't I? Let's grab it and just copy it, because that gives us the ability to call this. So let's do a float food. Let's do a get captured attribute magnitude. They've got mana def. In this case, it's our case, it's food def. And then spec, which comes from up there, evaluation parameters and mana. Is that? So it's spec evaluation. And then food. I don't like how it's not finding that. So I need to well, how about I just save for now? All right. Mana. float. Max of 0 and mana and 0, huh? All right. Is that real? Doesn't look real. Anyways, redefine setting mana again based on whether it's mana or 0. Then we'll do some maths. Right? So if 0 is more, so if mana is negative, it'll be 0, which is probably what we want to do too. Food equals, what was it, float math? Yeah. And it has a type in there. What? Yeah. Don't know why I was like, oh, maybe it's a capital, but then I remembered I do JavaScript for a living, so that's why. And so it's going to be the max of whatever we get back from food over there, or 0f. I'll bet it's supposed to be that. Now we have a number. How much food you have. So how much food we have. And how much food you currently have. And we want to make it so the more food you have, the less drunk you get. Right? So the more food you have, up to, so if you have some random number, which I think is legit, a random number. Let's call this random number drunk, or sorry, alcohol seconds. Because don't forget that alcohol, we're doing it by number of stacks, not by actual seconds. So you can drink like a bunch of alcohol, like we had before. You can drink 4 alcohol drinks, and I'll give you it'll cross that. For each drink we made had 3 alcohol stacks. So alcohol seconds should be, that's our, for each stack. That's what we want in the end. We want how many seconds based on how much food we have. I think I might have to do a little bit more. Let's get another one. No, let's get a. Is there a paint? Is there a paint, or am I? Oh, office. Is there a painter? Give me a painter. Painter. The painter? Or is it PowerPoint? That's like. That's not something I really thought I would need. I guess we gotta do this in here. All right. New text file. So we've got food, right? And this could max at 500, at 100. might go over, but in your basic max is 100, right? Then we want to say that the alcohol seconds is equal to some number x, which is going to be your base seconds. I guess you've got your food, current food, so you have less food. It'd be something like maybe 100. Wait. It should be something more like max of, the min of 100 and your current food. So if you have more than 100, it'll drop down to 100 as far as calculating goes. You cannot carb load in the game. This game has no carb loading. Oh, I lost my way. There we go. So we've got either food or 100. So if your food is less than 100, you'll get food. If your food is more than 100, you'll get 100. What we can do is 100 minus that. So at most we'll get 0, right? So if you have no food, you'll have 100, and if you have 100 food, you'll have 0. There's like kind of like, let's actually make this the oh, wrong button. Base multiplier I don't know about you, but I can't see my, oh, I might have pushed something weird. Hold on. So we want to do times some constant, which is kind of like your base seconds. And then let's also do a plus minimum. There's something screwy with this particular one. All right, let's see if we can do that in C++ now. Hold on. I have to remember what F11 is. I remembered what the buttons on my keyboard are. Okay, so alcohol seconds is equal to this number multiplier base, which is 100 minus, oops, minus, nope, minus, nope, minus, oops. I'm still not used to the mod row I've set up on this keyboard, but it's working better than what I had before. Float, and it's going to be a minimum of 100, and food. That's your multiplier times our seconds base. So if we get hit, so we were saying that before we were doing like 3 seconds for normal alcohol, 6 seconds for being drunk. Why don't we just set it to 3? Because we're going to reuse this for the other one. We could also look for that tag. Look for that tag. We have the tags. We could look for the tag. Let's go looking for the tag. Right? Oh, but the tag, I haven't defined the tag in C++. I defined the tag in blueprints. Let's just do 3 for now. I'll go fix that later. Right? That's all in brackets. And we're going to also add a base amount, which is going to be, how much should the base amount be? How much should the base amount be? 3. I think that's legit. We can say, actually, if we do, let's have this. Hold on, it's times 3. We don't want a full 3. Let's say our base amount, you're going to be drunk per stack of at least 2. And then I'm going to multiply. We've got all this. At least 2 per stack. We're going to get a number that's between 1 and 100. I'm going to multiply it by another number. But I don't want the whole number. That's like a percentage. It's like a percentage, isn't it? So let's times it by 0.01, which is your percentage. Then times it by our last, let's say, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Those 3 seconds we're talking about. We go back to Tranix example. This, he does a reduction, modifies it based on tags, and returns it. In this case, we've decided to put that off, so we're just going to go down and churn L all seconds. Get confused why I don't have a closing bracket. Wrong closing bracket. There you go. Save. Now let's see how many errors I'm going to get. I know it's already given me errors from this, but this should be able. We can do. Don't let me down. Don't let me let down. It will tell me soon enough if I've screwed it up. At least it's going farther, so it's not like it's like, you know, immediately like terrible syntax error, but probably is. Let's take a look. Doesn't like my const. Which is fine. And that breaks the rest of it because the rest of it needs that to go. All right, that's fine. I didn't need that const. I remembered it was 100 on my own. Just in case, is there anything that's not related to that? No, that's. Ooh, that's. Oh no, never. All right, clear. Push the button again. While this compiles, I will just sneak away. I find OBS. Click on it. I'm back. All right, let's get back to our I heard it fail. Heard it fail. I don't know where, but I've lost the opportunity to look at that. Let's do it again. Oh, I know where the law. This button isn't. Let me just. There we go. All right. Oh. Go back to the top of this long list of errors. Well, that'll. All right. I've got an extra GMMC alcohol. GMMC alcohol, GMMC alcohol, GMMC alcohol. What? Am I blind? GMMC alcohol. Did you mean UGMC? Ah. Not blind, just stupid. Okay. Save that. Double check this isn't. All right. Here we go. Oh. If it starts with the same garbage. Oh my god, it's just full of stupid typos. Okay, food def. Fud def. Fud def. Fud def. Before I go back, let's see if there's type specifier. Oh, that's that not interesting? Why? Why oh why? Because I'm dumb. Okay. Expected. Okay. Function type. Past. Oh, sorry. Forgot to actually name the function. This one's gonna be min, remember? I can get to it. And then it's gonna this, I don't know what it is, I don't know what it is. Go. I did actually save it. This time it doesn't like out of line definition. UMC alcohol does not like UGM alcohol. Am I the only one who? What? All right, let's start with this guy. 715. Ah, nope. Ah, no. Okay, so PMMC alcohol. That is the same name. I don't have to declare the constructor. Doesn't seem right. There's somewhere where I do use a constructor in here. Am I like so crazy that I haven't? And here it is. Geez, that's the constructor, isn't it? And uses all of them. Is no. I don't have to define. I don't have to define constructor. Oh, I do have to. All right. Let's define it. Okay. Before we try again. No viable overloaded or food def food capture. You guess attribute food attribute. Is it a function call? It's a function call. Oh. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's not fine. To declare that too, but I think I do. I'm just worried that because it'll be okay. It'll be okay, right? Right? We did that. Okay, those are three. We got those three. What happens? Oh. Error type fire. Right. That's right. Haven't worked in here for a while. Type specifier, yeah. Go again. It's overloaded virtual function. See that? I didn't think I had to declare that. I didn't think I had to declare that. I wish this existed in the actual project so I could look at it, because obviously I forget how C++ works. I assume it wants me to make it maybe this better. Magnitude, why don't I? That apparently Trenek is unwilling to do. No, this guy's just like using one. Oh yeah, all right. I'll have to override. Stay override. Oh no. I think I've got one in. Does that? That's. Oh my god! Why does it keep doing this? Double check this one. Sure. I gotta push the button to see. That will imply some for bot. Oh great, new. Not. I didn't do it quite right. Trenek, sometimes you're the best, sometimes you're the worst. All right. I think it did remind me I needed to do that before. Don't do that. I have to go look up that I didn't do that. All right. And then let's figure out why I'm doing wrong here. Do I need to guess character over virtual ability common ride virtual type name of the thing constant point, isn't it? I override that. No one uses the documentation to look at before. I feel like this is messing. Oh, I have this guy also override. Oh, hey. You need the right thing. Copy. User keep copy. Paste. Probably put it back down. Save. Recompile. Hey, we got a check mark this time. Huh. That's interesting. Well, look at that later. All right, so go in here. Here. Actually, let's stick to this one. Okay, so serving attribute based custom calculation class is we fix it up right away. Coefficient 1. Pre multiply additive value, post multiply additive. Ooh, if it's going to do that, it's going to multiply this number that so it's going to like get this alcohol seconds times coefficient, which is 1. And then we post add something. I'm just going to get rid of that and recompile. And then we can set that number in there. So that'll come back with 3 divided by some number times 1 plus, and this is where our 2 is. 2. Took it. Will it crash when I run the thing? There are no quiet cars on our street. Level. Okay. Got that. Oh my. Hold on. Oh. So that was an odd amount of. Okay, so that was a weird amount of seconds. I don't know if I can prove it. It works the way I want it to. But it's a very strange amount of seconds. So it should have been, by default, it would have been, you get 3 charges. So it would have been 1, 2, 3. And the first one, actually, I think I have to do it again. Let's do it again together. Oh. All right, so not water, beer. All right. 1, 2, 3. Only 1 charge on the beer. Apparently. All right, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seconds before the tag for being drunk went away. So that would have been 2 plus 2 plus some random number, right? Because the 4th drink should put 2 charges on you, which would have been base 2, which would have been 4, and got 8 seconds out of it. About. So an extra 2 seconds each. Yes, I know. 2 seconds each. Less than that. I'm gonna, while I'm staring at it, I'm pre-optimize that. All right, so we get percent of from 0 to 100. You'd have to like mark down what time it was, but I was around 75. 3 times 75, around 2 seconds ish. I would argue that it'd be working. Let's see if we can do something about that value. So we've got the pre-multiply additive value. We're going to multiply it by whatever comes out. No, we're going to get a value. We're going to do something to it. He's just doing like a reduction. Starts with the reduction of need to see. Here we go. The effect modifiers, effects definition, tags on modifiers, advantages, really spec modifiers, magnitude calculation, effects execution calculation. I need to go simpler than that. Ow. Oh. Let's open alcohol. So same number. Attribute based. Multiple. Post multiple. I'm going to pretend it was right. Also set we'll say that when you get drunk, you get twice. And then for normal alcohol, just the same thing, but just the once. So this will be like 2 plus some proportion of 3. And this will be, drunk will be 2 plus 1. This will be 4 because it's at least 4 plus some multiple. This will be 1 plus some percentage of 3, and this is 1 plus some percentage of 3, or what? Some percentage of 6. I'm sorry. Yeah, and then we can play with those numbers. So that did it. 8 o'clock. Where's my document of what I wanted to do? I also wanted to figure out how to be bored and not bored. All right, I can start this, but I probably won't finish it. I'll just do half an hour on this. So, boredom. So we drink to refill our thirst. We eat to refill our food. We poop or go to the bathroom to refill our toilet. What do we do for boredom? Bored. Well, I think it's going to be something different. Let's get a little nuts. So let's roll up to detective system. We're going to reuse this. It's a noticeable actor. Create a child blueprint class called BP BP interesting. Oh, interesting thing. And once I spell interesting properly, you'll understand. Interesting thing, and I grab that and I dump it in the party system folder. All right, party system, interesting thing. So it's based on our noticeable actor. All right, we'll do add a called. Where I'm gonna at button. Interesting. It's gonna be a float. Float goes on spawn, instance editable. It defaults to 10, 19, 10. 19 is a more interesting number, so it's more representative. Compile. All right. So we've got this interesting thing. We look at our detective system. We've got the base clue, and what makes it work is when handle notice. So we're going to do the same thing for interesting thing. We are going to override handle notice. And then using this guy as a noticer, we're going to go get their player state. We're going to, instead of collect evidence, we're going to append an effect that is exciting. So let's go make that while we remember how to, that's what we're doing. So attach health effects. So instead of yes to eat and drink, these are just play. Yeah. We'll base it game play effect, and this will be GE interested. Very annoying. I still have to play with like some timing on that. Open it, close it, open it again. Yep. All right. So instant modifier to your mind, add some sort of mount. But That's right. It should be the same as drink something, where we get it from the caller, right? Actually, I'm gonna read this. Try to make them all guessed something. So we'll set that to set by caller. Magnitude, data tag. Let's set alcohol, quench, add subtag, effect, interest. Perfect. Making sure that has the same kind of thing. This has this effect, so we're gonna ignore that because it doesn't make you poop. It's just interesting. So we're just gonna set by color effects quench, and ours set by color effects interest. And then we are going to go back up to here, and our interesting thing, we're going to do the same thing a drink. Now we get into this weird situation where maybe we need a primary data set for interesting things. So let's try that. Let's add folder. Interesting things. And also, I think we should also be able to spawn interesting things. So, because we have the interesting thing, BP interesting thing here. Here we have the BP interesting thing, but we can spawn these when you do something interesting. So like a drink, we're going to, woo, I forgot it was this big. Use charges. We check charge and go with that. We're not going to check charges on that. Get guest player state, which will get an ability system component, make the outgoing spec for the guest drink something. It'll be guest interested. We'll get the drinks or the interesting things interest and assign that tag just like we do here. So guest. So in here we've got the noticer. Noticer is a character, guest character. That's great. So we can just go get guest player state. Annoying. There we go. All right. Get the guest player state, just like we do here. Then we get that ability system component, just like we do there. make an outgoing spec. Class is going to be guest interested. The level is going to be interest. Sign tag set by color magnitude. Oh, I managed to like. Oh, no, not that one. Sign tag. There we go. And outgoing spec is this guy. There. Oh wait, I put it in the wrong thing. Actually be going into here. Break that. All right, that should be in there. I believe that's how it is here. Yep. And then we apply. Context sensitive, so I've got to go get the system component. Self spec handle. Whoops, it's right there. Right? Yeah. Self, like the drink. So with the drink, we're doing like stacks based on how the alcohol level. But that's a different gameplay effect, so we don't care about it. We're just gonna pop right out. One thing I'm gonna do, compile, I'm gonna bring back, pop in a guest interested, so we see stacking type, none. So alcohol stacks. This one doesn't. It just, you have it or you don't. But it's instant, so you might get hit with it again. What can we do about this? Do we need like some sort of cooldown? A cooldown? 5 player? Oh, we can make one, can't we? We can go as duration. Well, but the 0 will go away the moment that runs out, won't it? Right? So if I add 10, interesting, but I have a duration that only lasts like, 12. Then after 12 seconds, you're bored. Even more bored than you were before. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's how the world works. Maybe throughout this party you have to, like, get more and more excited about being there because you're bored. Who knows? That's a little bit crazy. Let's try it, I guess. What should we? Ooh, that's a good idea. Let's do this. You're interested. Same amount of time. The interest. Interesting. what we'll do, hop over to here, party system, guest starting. Nope, not guest starting. Game effect board. And for this, every 2 seconds, we're reducing your mind by 1. Why don't we set this so that every 10 seconds, reduce your mind by 1, which seems like a lot, but then you realize that anything you do to like get unbored, it's going to go away. Does that make sense? Is that crazy? Is that bad? All right, we're also going to set, let's see, interest maximum noise and active fire check. Update your game. Your actor can be damaged. Oh. Initial lifespan. Initial lifespan. Can I set that on spawn? Can I set that on spawn? Because that's what I would put in, right? I would say, okay, this guy. Graph is not editable. Okay. Oh, I'm editing it now. All right. So if we do would it make more sense to let's just try it out first. Let's try it out first. Characters. Input? No. Game. Detective. Do something. Do you remember where I put it? Do gameplay abilities, of course. Do something. Ability that leaves evidence. Ability that leaves evidence. Right? We have this crazy thing. It does crazy stuff. Get evidence to drop and spawns an actor. For now. Actually, I just dropped this open to those. No. No. It's not there. So let's add it to the thing. Interest. No. But what if it's like always there, right? I think we might have to set up like an array or like a map, same way we do for evidence, except we're just gonna say you don't get to be interested by this ever again, right? Once you're interested by this, you don't get to be interested by it ever again. In which case we would allow stacking. Because if you see two interesting things, you should be interested by all those things. All right, I've done enough C++ today, so I'm not gonna do some more. I can do that next week. So let's write that down so I remember that I'm supposed to do it next week before we add add controls. We're gonna add map or array for tracking interesting things. Interesting things. I actually have a feeling we're gonna have two kinds of interesting things. I mean, this is the based interesting thing, right? I think we're gonna have another one that can be destroyed. So if I'm doing an interesting thing, that should not exist forever. But maybe everybody has an interesting thing node on them. Maybe we'll figure that out later. Let's add that to the list. Oh, wait. Okay, stop doing it. Right? And it affects no one because it's gone because they stopped doing it. So those are two things we have to look into, and then we will talk about gamepad controls, I think. That sounds good to me. Well, we got the overflow effect, the drunkenness dependent on food as expected. And we kind of got the boredness. So we should probably test out next week. Test out bored interesting from last week because I haven't run it yet, have I? All right. Oh, that doesn't happen. All right. Cool. I think that's good. We did it. We did it, lads. All right. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.